In real estate, what was the path which opened for you?
So I did not start this business to make money. It's more of a time pass.
You seem to be very buyer centric. What do you want to say to that?
Buyer is the real customer. So anything, if I start supporting the seller, then I have to ignore the buyer.
How do you make your workforce younger? How do you evaluate, monitor?
Customer feedback will also help to improve the skill set of my employees as well. I always say customer feedback is the best one.
If a youngster who's trying to become self-employed in real estate today, where do you think he should start?
So it's very, very important first to build a knowledge base. Second,
In today's world of social media, how is that is changing your options vis-a-vis when you started?
when I started, I did not spend any money on marketing, whether print media or digital media. But with that approach, the growth is limited.
And for newbies, how much they need to understand about RERA?
I would say RERA is a boon for the entire country actually, not just real estate.
In real estate, what did you start with? Primary, secondary, rental, retail? What was it which you started then? And what was the path which opened for you?
So basically, idea was to start with rental first. And idea when I started was if I do 1 or 2 deals per month, that is more than enough basically. I don't want more than that. So I did not start this business to make money. It's more of a time pass, right? But then with rental, I got into property management. The customer will tell me why to manage my property, right? Then one person came, he sell my house. This is how I get into resale market.
From the initial conversation, whatever you've started, you've been saying buyer experience, buyer feedback. You seem to be very buyer centric, right? For the buyer and from that perspective, what do you want to say to that?
In my opinion, buyer is the one who's actually paying the money, right? So buyer is the real customer, correct? Buyer will stay in that house for the rest of his life. Buyer is investing his lifelong earning, right, in this house, correct? His family, wife, kids, everything is related to the home only. They sing na roti kapda or makan, जीवन के तीन निशान, right? So this is his fundamental this thing, correct? So anything, if I start supporting the seller, then I have to ignore the buyer, right? So initial 2 year, definitely it hit my business because my approach was buyer centric, right?
How do you make your workforce younger? Because it has to be foot on the soldier also, right? How is it possible that you have almost 60% of them remote working? How do you ensure that they are actually doing that work on the ground? Uh, how do you know that there is progress, and how do you evaluate, monitor?
So basically, I always say customer testimony is the ultimate proof of your service excellence. At the end of the closure, if customer is writing an email on a public platform on your behalf, that means you have done a fabulous job, right? I don't have to monitor what you have done, how you have done, correct? After closure of each and every deal, I used to call the customer to ask for feedback. So one customer will give me feedback. That feedback will help me to further refine the process. Second, customer feedback will also help to improve the skill set of my employees as well. Right? I always say customer feedback is the best love. And that's how we keep on updating our database, our knowledge base, documentation part and training the team member. And one thing which we do like in every weekly meeting, right? Each member will share one of the mistakes they have done in last 1 week. So typically what happens, we try to shy away from the mistakes which you make, right? We try to cover it up. If I come to the meeting and I say, look, मैंने गलती किया, right? But everybody goes, man, if I, as an MD, I can make mistakes, so they do it, right? And once they share the mistake, others will also learn out of it. After a couple of meetings, the new employee comes on board, right? He does not feel shy of sharing his mistakes. Now the mindset becomes, if with his mistakes, others are learning.
If a youngster who's trying to become self-employed or become an entrepreneur in real estate today, where do you think he should start? One, and two, what is the average income he will be able to earn? And three, how is the personal and professional life balance for him?
One key skill required is subject matter expertise, right? You have to have it. There's no if and but, correct? Now, just because you have a subject matter expertise does not mean customer will come and buy from you, right? The customer will come and buy for you, one, if they like you or if they trust you. And if you are both likable and trustworthy, right? With subject matter expertise, that customer will stay with you lifelong. Correct. So it's very, very important first to build a knowledge base. Second, learn how to be likable and how to be trustworthy. Now, to be likable and trustworthy, you have to have a skill: one, empathy; second, communication skill. Communication skill is highly underrated. I always say, if I have to pick up one skill in the life, in the world, and this I tell it to my daughter also, communication is the key. If you can pick up this skill, all other skills will become very, very easy for you to pick up and make an impact in the society where you live in, basically. So, to summarize, subject matter expertise, communication skill, and be likable and trustworthy. Those three must. And now, to have the business, you have to do networking. So network is net worth.
When they come in, they think of first survival, right? Everybody goes through survivable, sustenance, and then only scale, right? So survival mode. So what is it that he could basically be able to make in his first year or so?
Anybody who has the domain expertise or 4 or 5 year of experience in real estate, right? He can easily close one or two rental deals per month. That one or two rental deals, the city where you live in, right, is good enough for you to meet your expenses. You may not be able to earn as much as you are getting in your job as an employee incentive, but for next 6 months, you can easily live on that money. But before you quit your job, I always say at least you should have 6 months of bank balance where you can survive. I always advise, don't spend too much on marketing initially. Don't go for a hi-fi office. Don't show off, basically, right? So just learn the basics. Start something which is give you the right. Once you have the neck of the rental market, something easy, low hanging fruit, right? On that, you build resale market or primary market. The issue with the both primary secondary, it takes 6 month long cycle. But once you hit that 6 month to long cycle, right, then you can keep on getting rewarded month after month, right? And you can start building on the network and the deal which already gone through. So the struggle, I would say, 6 months to 1 year in general. And then money wise, see, if you look at the forecast by most of the pundits in real estate, right? By 2030, we are projecting what $1 trillion economy coming only from real estate, right? The price of the property has gone up Bangalore. Like average very good society, 3 BHK is minimum 2 crore rupees. If you get 2% brokerage, it becomes 4 lakh rupees, right? So there's a huge potential now, basically, to start their own. And a lot of those things are now online. Like lot of real estate people have become coach, mentor as well, right? So they can acquire domain expertise as well. They have the technology platform and they can, from day one, they can make money actually.
Assuming you are in today's world of social media, right? So youngsters who are coming in probably knows better than any of us in terms of Instagram, YouTube. There, how is that is changing the processes what you spoke about in terms of personal branding, in terms of reaching customer experience, giving them experience. Because today buyers are also invariably, I mean, are millennials, right? I mean, the buyers' age is also coming down, right? So how do we catch up to that? How did you do it? Right? What was last, at least after COVID or during COVID, was there any digitization which you got into? I mean, I saw your YouTube, you have videos and you're also actively present in the social media. Your LinkedIn profile seems to have close to 13,000 followers. So how did these things changing your options vis-a-vis when you started?
So actually, when I started, I did not spend any money on marketing, whether print media or digital media. It was all through word of mouth customer referral. But with that approach, the growth is limited, right? And this change happened when my daughter joined my business 4 years ago. So she's the one basically who started doing building a website, Instagram, YouTube, and all those things, right? I'm still, even though I come from IT background, mind wise, still is old school, right? So we believe in friendship, referral, relative, all those kind of stuff. So, but what I realized in last 3 4 years after working with my daughter, right? If you want to build a business, you cannot ignore social media today. Social media has become the integral part of each and every individuals. The amount of time we spend on social media, right? You cannot, and the future is going to keep on growing up. The cheapest and best way to build a brand today is social media. So to answer your earlier question, right? If you're 25-year-old, even if you don't have much money in your pocket, right? Just because social media, right? You can start your business on day one, and you can make money basically, yeah, because of the platform which you are getting at a much lower price.
And for newbies, how much they need to understand about RERA, getting registered in RERA, how important it is.
I would say RERA is a boon for the entire country actually, not just real estate. And RERA law is helping everybody, buyer, supplier, builder, investors. Because now builder are bound to follow the process, how they spend the money, right? So they have to optimize their expenses, optimize the timeline, right? So knowingly, unknowingly, it is a big boon for the builder. Now me as a customer, right? It is helping me also, right? Now I know exactly what I'm getting into. I'm paying for what? What is my timeline? So that is help the real estate agent actually. If the project is approved, so our job becomes much less tedious now to explain to the customer. Okay, this is what it is, right? It's not gonna change.
For brokers, how is it going to help RERA?
Earlier, there was a lot of confusion in terms of domain knowledge. Of suppose the builder say 1600 square feet super build up area. Buyer would ask us how much is the carpet area, how much is the built up area, right? What the legal approval, how much timeline will take, will if the project get delayed, correct? So now all those things are documented by the builder RERA approval, right? And if you go to the RERA website, builder has to post each and every detail on their website. So RERA has made our life much more easier now.
I'm very happy to have met you and known all of these, Manoj. This is really, really great.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it was nice to talk to you as well.
Thanks.